2011, he was the champion for the international speech contest in Division G. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, please welcome our educational speaker, Surja Wahjudianto.
Thank you, Toastmasters Rena, for the very interesting introduction. Last night, I saw a picture showing the committee members of this event were here. They were preparing, they were checking, they were rehearsing. While we were at home, enjoying our sleep, and maybe enjoying our Netflix. They were here working hard and making sure that everything is all set. So their dedication is so marvelous, and that deserves appreciation. So please give applause to our committee members. I thank Division G for inviting me here, standing in front of great leaders, great speakers, and also the champions of the previous contests. Thank you so much. I'm truly, truly honored. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, I'm not bragging or anything, but I've given a lot of presentations before, and most of them were boring. I can tell you start to question my credibility, but that's not your fault. But let's not forget that the best teacher is actually our failures and our mistakes, right? So even if this presentation itself is also a failure, at least you still can learn something from the best teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I'm not that bad. I've failed many times. I've made a lot of mistakes, but there were also some successes. And the combination of these failures and successes, it will makes the tools that I'm going to share with you to help you deliver effective, even excellent presentations. So if you've been looking for ways to help you deliver effective, killer, even excellent presentations, so these tools are for you. So what are the tools? Let's review the tools. The tools are called K and O and P. The tools are
K, O, P.
Thank you so much. So what are they? Well, let's review one by one. First tool is called K. Please repeat after me. K is know your audience. K is
Know your audience.
Thank you so much. You're great audience. Know your audience. You might say, of course I know my audience. How can I not know my audience? Well, knowing audience means that you have a good understanding of the people in your audience and try to suit their needs, their interests, and expectations. Just like having great content alone is not enough to help you satisfy your audience. So you have to know your audience. You have to have good understanding of the people in your audience. Just like when you serve your guests at home with food that you like. Just because you noodles and you have the best noodles, doesn't mean that you can always satisfy your guests, because maybe they don't like noodles. Even if they like noodles, maybe they don't like the ingredients in the noodles. Maybe they don't like prawns, they don't like the sesame or the egg. Right? If you serve this dish anyway to your guests, they might be resistant like this. So you end up losing relationship with your guests. Giving a presentation is similar. Just because you have great content doesn't mean that you can always satisfy your audience. So knowing your audience is really crucial. And failing to do this can result in a failed presentation. So if you ask me, so Surya, if knowing our audience is that important, so do you have like tools or formula that can help me to know and connect with others better? I'm going to give you not just a formula, I'm going to give you magic formula. Because this is magic, so please help me to open by spell. say abracadabra. When I wave my hand, say abracadabra. Yeah.
Abracadabra.
Yeah. The tool is called Pato. What is Pato? You might ask. Pato is purpose, audience, topic, and outcome. What is this? You create a single sentence that consists of these four elements. Single sentence that consists of these four elements. So let's review one by one. What is the purpose? You know, in Toastmasters, there are four purposes. What is the first one? Purpose to inform, that's right. And then to inspire, okay. And then motivate, and then entertain. Okay, very good. Yeah. So, which one is the purpose of your presentation? Choose one. To inform, to persuade, to entertain. Choose one. Then audience, the audience be specific. Specify. The more specific, the better. Because speaking to employees and speaking to students, your approach should be different. Even when you speak to students of engineering or social students, your approach should be different. Specify. And topic is the topic of your presentation. Outcome is the outcome, the goal of your presentation. What do you want your audience to know after your presentation? Or what do you want your audience to do after your presentation? Let's have a look at this example to make it even clearer. Let's say I'm going to talk at this university. This is my purpose: to inform, just to inform, not to persuade, not to inspire. The students specific. I don't just write students or university students, but students of Faculty of Economics, University of Airlangga. Because if I speak to Petra students, my approach should be different. But this one specific for these students. And then it's a title, my title, effective presentation skill. My outcome, they know how to create presentation content. I can deliver it effectively. When it already clear in mind, so you know exactly what you have to do now to achieve the outcome. What stories you need to include in your presentation, what analogies you need to include, what pictures you need to put in your slides, how you will open your presentation, and then your style maybe, whether you animated or calm and formal, so you know exactly. When it is clear, so it's easy to achieve the outcome, right? This is the first one, the first tool. What is the first tool? What is that? Know your audience. Now let's come to the second tool. This is O. What is O? Please repeat after me. O is organizing our presentation. What is this? Your presentation. Organizing our presentation is like structuring your presentation in a way that is coherent and logical. Organizing your presentation serves two benefits for you and your audience. It serves benefit for you as a speaker because it helps you to be consistent and focused. Consistent with your message. So you not get derailed. You'll focus. You'll be focused. You not get derailed or sidetracked. And then it serves benefit for your audience because your organized presentation makes it easy to follow. What is easy to follow? Easy to follow is easy to follow. When it's easy to follow, it is easy to understand. When it's easy to understand, it is to remember. Yeah, for is to follow, to understand, and is to remember. That's the benefit of organizing your presentation. And then many people out there still don't know how to organize our presentation. Actually, our presentation is very easy to organize using this technique. This is something that we learn in school. Start with the opening, and then body, and then closing, just like this. But many people do not know this. That makes the presentation ramble, talking about this, talking about that, confusing. But by following this formula, this pattern, it is easy for you to develop your presentation. But what most learners of public speaking find it difficult is how to develop the body of our presentation. That happened to me many years ago. Once I was invited to give a talk at an event, And after I gave the topic to the committee, then I was confused what I was going to talk about in my speech. And it happened for several days until it was closing to the event. I got panicked. So I consulted with my mentor and we met at the cafe. Okay, Surya, what's your problem? And I told my mentor, my problem, I was going to deliver a speech at an event, but I have given the topic to the committee, but I didn't know what I was going to talk about. Smiling, he took a piece of paper. So what's your topic now? I give him my topic. He wrote my topic on the piece of paper. After that, he asked me, now think of several ideas that are related to your topic. So I give him my ideas. He wrote it on the piece of paper, one by one. Okay, now, out of these ideas, choose the best three that you think are the best for you. So I choose three. This one, this one, this one. Okay, Surya, these are the points of your presentation. Oh, that's easy. So after finding our topic, collecting some ideas, and choose the best three of your become the point of your presentation. So your body of the presentation looks like this. Point one, and then point two, point three. Very simple. Very simple. To have it clearer, let's have a look at this example. Let's say you're going to talk about how to cultivate growth mindset. Then after reading, after browsing, discussing with your friends, with colleagues, we found the first point that the way we cultivate the growth mindset is by enduring challenges. You don't run away from the problem, from the adversity. And then second point is cultivate a lot of learning. And then focus on effort and persistence. By having these points, so your presentation will be consistent and focused. You don't get derailed. Yeah, you don't talk about something else. You will ramble. No, but focus by choosing these points. So those are that was the second point, which is what is the first one? What is the second one? Organize your expression. Now we come to the third point. Please read after me. P is, read after me. Practice, practice, practice. Yeah. And once a friend of mine said, Surya, we're always encouraged to practice, especially when it comes to presentation or public speaking, because they say that practice makes perfect. Well, we know that nobody's perfect, so why practice? That sounds true. Yeah, I shall call this logical fallacy. These ideas are true. Each of these ideas is true, but when we put them together, not true. That's right, that nobody's perfect, but when we practice, yeah, at least we'll get closer to the perfection. Even though maybe we will not get 100% perfection, but by practicing, at least we'll get closer to the perfection. Let's say your initial score before you practice 60, and after practicing, you become 61. 61 is not good enough, still far away from 100, but at least better than 60. And then practice again. Oh, it becomes 63, still better than 60, even though still far away from 100. Practice again, becomes 70, 71, 75, 79. That's better. That's why we need to practice. Even though we will not get 100% perfection. Because when we practice, especially public speaking, when you practice, you internalize the content. When you internalize your content, you'll be more fluent. If you're fluent, you'll be more confident. And talking about practice, I remember this guy. Anybody knows who's this guy? Yeah, of course. You can read the slide. Yeah, this one is Carmine Gallo. Anybody familiar with the books? The books, yeah. Carmine Gallo is a best-selling author. He's a best-selling author. He's also a Harvard instructor and also a keynote speaker. These are some of his best-selling books. Once, Carmine Gallo received a phone call from his client. The client, a woman, was a prominent business leader. And this woman is giving a TED Talk in 5 months. She's going to give a TED Talk in 5 months. That's why she needed Carmine to coach her. And because it was five months away, Carmine Gallo said, all right, you spend the first 2 months preparing the content and your slides. Okay, said the client confidently. And then spend the next 3 months rehearsing your presentation. Then the client started to complain, 3 months? Yes, 3 months. And you practice every single day. So there'll be 90 rehearsals. So 90 sounds just right. And then the client complained, 90? Isn't it a lot? And the client and the Carmine referred to Dr. Jules Taylor experience. Dr. Jules Taylor is a neuroscientist. Carmine said, well, Dr. Jill Taylor rehearsed her TED Talk 200 times. 200 times. And her video has been viewed 15 million times. And Oprah Winfrey invited her to be a guest on her show. Dr. Jill's TED Talk transformed her career. And the client, oh, okay, I'll get started right away. This is so inspiring, especially when it comes to practice. Practice, maybe will not make it perfect, but practice makes you get closer to the perfection. Now, if you are convinced that practice is so important, the question is, how can we practice? I'll share with you 4 tips to help you practice well. First one, practice in chunks. Practice chunk by chunk or part by part. First, you practice the opening. You do it over and over again, until you are fluent, until you are confident with this. And then do the next one. It is, let's say, point number 1. Do it over and over again until you are fluent. And then point number 2. Do it again over and over again. Just in case you are not, there are some ideas or some concept that you're not really fluent, you're stuck here, you forget things because there are some words that are difficult. You don't repeat from the beginning. That's a mistake that I did. So whenever I got stuck in the middle, I repeated from the beginning. That made me overwhelmed. Wow. So you repeat only the second point. You repeat again and again until you're fully refined, until your level of fluency, your level of understanding is equal with the other parts. That way you will not get overwhelmed. When everything is already clear and then fluent, you can begin from the beginning until the end. Yeah, that's the meaning of practice in chunks. You don't repeat from the beginning until the end, but chunk by chunk. That way, it is easier for you to practice. And the next one is the more, the better. Just like what Carmine Gallo gave advice to his client. Yeah, the more, the better. But if you're just like me, that thing 200 or even 90 sounds too much. There's a rule of thumb when it comes to practice. When you are delivering a topic that is new to you, let's say you usually give a talk about public speaking, and then once you're asked to deliver a talk about, let's say, parenting or productivity, mindfulness, you practice 10 times. 10 10 times. Why 10? Because 10 is a good number, they say. 10 is a good number, and then 10 is attainable. And you practice 10 times, and then it is easier for you. And then it gives you booster rather than achieving 200, which is too much, right? 10 times. When you achieve 10 times, you can do more. 11, 12, yeah, that's a lot easier, and then helps you to practice better. Then the next one, this one is maybe, what is this? Yeah, talk to your spouse. What does it mean? Talk to your wife, talk to your husband, or to your parents, or anyone who you live with. Why is it? Why? Because this avoids misunderstanding and feeling awkward. That's what happened to me in my early year of marriage. When I practice my way, hey, what are you doing? Hey. Because it felt awkward. Because practicing something like this, it's not common in most families, right? While practicing, you need to speak out loud. You cannot just mumble or whisper. No, you have to speak out loud, just like when you do actual presentation. Because when you whisper or speak softly, the practice will not be effective. That's why you need to speak to your spouse clearly. Be open with your parents, siblings, yeah, anyone you live with. That is important. So anytime your brothers, your sisters, your parents hear you, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to, okay, Dean is still practicing, yeah. So they know. But when you're not open, you think, oh, what should you think? Huh? Has he changed or something like that? Yeah. That's why it is important. Talk to your spouse. Last but not least, visualize. Visualize works like magic. Because experts say, when you visualize, many of the same regions in your brain that are activated when you do the actual activity are also being activated. So this is like you experience something without actually experiencing it. And you experience something without you actually experiencing it. It's wonderful, right? And the best part is you can customize the experience according to your experience, according to your preference. You can customize the experience. You imagine the audience is smiling, the audience is clapping their hands, the audience following you and repeated your words, something like that. This works like magic. So apply this, and then your presentation will be more fluent and more engaging. Yeah. So this is the way you practice. And before I continue and close the speech, I'd like to invite some questions from the audience. I'd like to give control back to Toastmaster Rena to lead, or shall I lead? Think?
No. I will accompany you, Pastor. Yeah, just kidding. Okay, so everyone, we are moving on to the Q&A session. And for this session, we will accompany two questions. I think it's better if we have one question from the offline side and also one question from the online side. And welcome to the everyone who just come at offline side. Hello. Okay, so from online side, maybe everyone on the online side has question. We have Oh, thank you, Burana. Yes, you can ask.
Yeah, in case that you have questions from the audience and you are not able to answer certain questions, what should we do?
Yeah. Any more? Okay. Thank you for the question.
Oh, there is one added question.
Okay, thank you. Now I'd like to address the first question. And because this is difficult to answer, so I answer by sending you an email. Yes, ma'am? Yeah, thank you. That's the way you answer the actual, that's one. Yeah, that happened to me several times, yeah. Not everyone that you presented, and the audience, you can respond well. Many times, yeah, several times that happened to me. If, let's say, the audience members can answer that, maybe they can help. But in case nobody in the audience also could not answer your question, so you have to be responsible with that question by maybe discussing at the back of the room, or responding to the question by asking your colleagues or your friends, and then respond with the question later. Even though that cannot satisfy your audience members at that time, but at least she or he is helped by the response. Yeah, does that answer the? Yeah. I think you know the answer. You're testing me. Because it is a common question in Toastmasters, especially. Yeah. And then addressing Toastmaster Adele question. Yeah, I mentioned earlier that we need to adjust our approach. We need to tailor our presentation to the audience needs, expectations, and interests, right? Now the question is, what if the audience is mixed members? Some are experts, some are, yeah. Of course, the approach is you need to combine between like high level of knowledge and then lower level of knowledge. That's something that you need to do. This is often happens when delivering the teaching, even teaching English, teaching anything, yeah, presentation skills or public speaking. Some people are experienced, but some people are not. So you have to create content that can satisfy both levels. Yeah, like maybe more ice-breaking, and then something that lower level audience can understand. So mix content, not just for the high level, not just for the lower level. Both content should be met. That's my answer. I hope that can answer your question, Toastmaster Adele. Okay, any more question? No, yeah, I think. All right, okay, thank you. Now it's time for me to give my closing statement. So here, we've learned how to be better, even excellent when giving our presentation. First one, you need to know your audience. Because knowing audience means that you have good understanding of the people in your audience and tailor your presentation to suit their needs, to suit their expectations and interests. And then organize your presentation. Organizing your presentation means you structure your audience in a way that is logical and coherent. This helps you as a speaker because it makes your presentation more consistent and focused. It helps your audience because when you organize your presentation, it makes it easy to follow, to understand, and to remember. And practice. Practice makes perfect. Even though you will not get 100% perfection, but at least by practicing, you'll get closer to the perfection. Ladies and gentlemen, Ralph Waldo Emerson said that all the great speakers were best speakers at first. You too, no matter what your position is right now, you can be great speakers. As long as you're willing to try, you're willing to learn, and you're willing to practice. Surja Wahjudianto, signing off.
Thank you very much, Pak Surya, for the tips for give an excellent presentation, and we surely will remember it because it looks like just consists of 3 letters, but it's really deep and